Good day, everyone. So today we're going to discuss about the family nursing care process. And as we all know, guys, the family nursing care process follows the four steps, just like your clinical or hospital setting. We have the assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation. For your clinical or hospital setting, we are following the ADPI phases. But in this case, when you are undergoing or when you are utilizing the family nursing care process, wala dyan yung diagnosis for the reason that meron tayong ginagamit na separate tool in crafting the diagnosis phase. And dito sa topic na to, we will focus on the assessment phase, and it is imperative for you to know the types of or what are the typology of nursing problems in family nursing care practice. And ito yung ginagamit natin na method in the assessment phase. And we have two types of assessment. We have the first level of assessment and the second level of assessment. So itong assessment phase ay isa sa mga pinakamadugo at isa sa mga pinakamalawak na ginagawa natin during this process. Now, you cannot just jump into the planning or the implementation phase without assessment phase. So, kailangan nating pag-aralan to for you to um, efficiently and effectively um, assess the patient kasi ito yung magiging basis natin sa gagawin nating phase, the next phase which is your planning phase. So for your first level of assessment, this talks about the the existing and potential health condition of that specific family that you're going to help. Like ano bang mga potential or mga factors that can affect the health condition or the overall status of well-being of that specific household or specific family. Now, it is not just the potential factors. No, we are also assessing the existing or the current factors that affects the OLOF or the optimum level of functioning of the family members or the family itself. Now, for the first level of assessment, there are several areas that we must discuss. And under the first level of assessment, we have to assess the wellness condition of that family. And of course, we must assess if there is a presence of health deficit, the presence of health threat, and lastly, the presence of stress point or also the foreseeable crisis. Now, these are the four factors under the first level of assessment. Now we go to the first area, which is the wellness condition. So dito sa area na to, we assess for the potential or the readiness of a family into the transitioning from a specific level of wellness into the higher level of capability. Now, for this wellness condition, we have two types. So the first one is the potential for enhanced capabilities for. Kung sinabi natin potential, merong possibility pa lang. So possible na meron silang or may enhance ang kanilang capability according to number one, healthy lifestyle. Number two, management or health maintenance. Number three is your parenting and breastfeeding. And kasali dyan ang spiritual well-being sa ating first level of assessment under wellness. And kapag wala dito sa nabanggit, you can just specify yung area na wala dito. So again, under wellness condition, we have two areas, the potential for enhanced capacity. When I say potential, may possibility na ang behavior nila ay ma-modify at may potential silang ma-improve ang kanilang healthy lifestyle, health maintenance, parenting and breastfeeding, and spiritual well-being. So the next area under wellness condition is the readiness for enhanced capability. Kasi sinabi nating readiness, kung yung letter A kanina is potential, the possibility, pag dito naman sa letter B is the readiness. Ibig sabihin, ready na yung family na yun, but there are factors that affects their motivation or willingness. So parehas lang din yung yung mga factors or mga areas dito sa readiness for enhanced capabilities doon sa potential for enhanced capability. So, parehas lang din healthy lifestyle like your exercise, diet, lifestyle modification or sedentary lifestyle modification. We have the health maintenance or health management. How do they manage health conditions or existing health conditions? And then parenting, of course, apekto yan sa relationship ng family between household family members. And breastfeeding, of course, that is under your wellness condition. Bakit under siya ng wellness condition? Because breastfeeding promotes or enhances the immunity of the child. And then spiritual well-being, of course, naka-apekto yan sa mind, body, and soul ng each of the family members. And if there are pag hindi nyo na-classify dito sa under sa readiness for enhanced capability, you can just specify here kung wala dito sa mga factors na to ang nakita ninyo or na-observe ninyo dito sa wellness condition. So, ulitin ko, under the wellness condition, we have two factors. We have the potential and letter B, the readiness for enhanced capability. Now we go to the next one, which is your health deficit. So basically, ang health deficit is the instances wherein there's a failure in health maintenance. So ibig sabihin yan, the disease itself is existing or there is an existing illness or disease doon sa family members. Now, sabi niya dyan, unang-unang kinukonsider natin under health deficit is the presence of illness. So either diagnosed siya or undiagnosed. So ibig sabihin yan, diagnosed by a medical doctor or hindi siya na-diagnose pero na-observe mo na meron sakit or may current na illness or disability ang isang family member. So lahat ng factor na yon ay kabilang sa health deficit. So when you see a client na meron siyang disability like mga household members na may PWD or person with disability, so they are automatically under the health deficit factor. Now, we go to the next area, which is the failure to thrive or develop according to normal rate. So, yung normal na activities of daily living is affected. So, this is the failure to thrive or develop according to the normal rate or naapektuhan ang kanyang activities of daily living. And lastly, sinabi natin kanina, disability or the presence of disability. Whether it is congenital, yung sakit niya noong bata pa siya or pinanganak siya, or pwede yan yung arising from a specific illness. So what are the health threats? So these are the conditions that are conducive to disease and accident. So potential na magkakaroon sila ng aksidente or it will contribute to the existence of a certain disease. Ayan. For example, nakikita niyo dyan sa mga pictures dyan, may mga nakakalat ng mga sharp objects which are potential or conducive to the development of certain disease. Now, this may result to failure to maintain wellness or realize health potential. So this results to failure or to maintain wellness and realize health potential. Ito yung mga factors na pwedeng maging sanhi ng aksidente or pagde-develop ng certain disease. So under the health track, we have several areas here. For example, itong una, presence of risk factors of specific diseases. So yung mga risk factor niyan, like for example, smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, those are risk factors na pwedeng mag-develop into certain or specific diseases. And also the threat of cross-infection. For example, merong COVID-19 ang kasambahay or kasama sa bahay or mga kapitbahay, pwede siyang maging threat. Pwede siyang may transmit sa isang household member at nagkakaroon ng cross-infection. And also, we have here the family size. Kung malaki yung size ng family na yon, so mas malaki yung chance na um, magkakaroon ng sakit or magkaka-contract ng sakit or magkakahawaan dun sa loob ng household na yon. And also, of course, yung ano no, yung expenses ay magiging threat when there is a big family size doon sa isang specific household. We have also here the accident hazards like yung mga nakakalat dyan na mga sharp objects na hindi inaayos or merong nabagyong bahay and then nakatiwangwang yung bubong, parang ganun. And then faulty or unhealthful nutritional or eating habits, parang magiging malnourished yung isang family member, either overnourished yan or undernourished. We have also stress-provoking factors, poor home or environment conditions, sanitation, unsanitary food handling and preparation. So alam niyan, hindi inuugasan ng mabuti ang mga kinakain or hindi sila naghuhugas ng mabuti ng kamay, hindi sila napapractice ng proper hand washing techniques, and then unhealthful lifestyle and personal habits, mga sedentary practices sa loob ng tahanan. Inherent personal characteristics, something to do with the attitude or yung ugali ng isang household member. Inappropriate assumption, hindi niya alam kung ano yung talagang role na or hindi niya ginagampanan ang kanyang role sa loob ng family or sa loob ng bahay. And lack of or inadequate immunization, of course, nagiging health threat yan. Kasi nga later on kapag hindi na-immunize ang mga children na kasama sa household na yun, pwedeng makakontract ng mga certain diseases. And we use immunization as a prophylaxis method to prevent the occurrence of diseases like your polio and your tuberculosis. Now, we have also here the family disunity. Kapag hindi nagkakaisa ang family, pwedeng maging threat yan sa all of or the optimum level of functioning na pwedeng makapekto doon sa all of na yan. And also the health history. Now we go to the next one. Under the first level of assessment, we have the stress points or the presence of stress points or the so-called foreseeable crisis. Now, stress points or foreseeable crises are the anticipated periods of unusual demand on the individual or family in terms of adjustment or family resources. So pag sinabi natin anticipated, you expect na ang event na yon ay magpo-cause ng stress sa buong family or sa member of the household. So there are certain events or periods wherein nakikita mo siyang magiging stress point mo siya. So these are the foreseeable crisis or the stress points. Now, ano bang tinatanong natin? Or ang mga factors under your stress points or foreseeable crisis? Ayan, we have cited examples here like yung marriage, no? Kapag you're going to marry each other or kapag nag-asawa ka na, of course, magiging stress later on sa'yo. Kasi nga, well, pagdating sa expenses, sa responsibility ay tataas. So, potential yan or anticipated mo na yan na magiging stress point. Then parenthood, of course, or additional member of the household like merong newborn or merong mga nag-boarding doon sa bahay ninyo ay additional members of that household. No, magiging stress point mo sila kasi nga additional na burden mo, additional na mga gastusin, and also yun din ang tinutukoy ni dito when yung mga children na kasama nyo sa bahay, kunwari ay mag-aaral, syempre yung entrance at school dito, tumutukoy yan sa mga tuition fees, mga gastusin na additional expenses again. So nagkakos siya ng stress sa family, particularly the parents. And yung adolescents, yung pag-jump or parang milestone So, nagko-cause din yan ng stress sa family because yan, nagkakaroon ng adjustment doon sa developmental aspect of that specific household member. And of course, divorce or separation, nagkakos yan ng emotional stress sa family, anticipated na divorce or separation. And menopause, minsan inisip ng mother na parang wala, hindi na siya magkakaanak and matanda na siya. Yan yung common na perception dito sa aspect ng menopause niya. So nagkakaroon ng stress ang mother kapag malapit na ang kanyang menopausal period. And hospitalization, of course, it talks about expenses again. The death of a family member, na magiging stress points yan kasi nga siguro yung namatay na family member ay doon umaasa ang lahat ng family members. So, ayun, nagiging stress point siya kasi wala nang susuporta sa buong family. And illegitimacy, at kapag wala dito sa mga list na to, you can just specify under the others specified portion. Now, these are the several factors, key points under your stress points or foreseeable crisis. Now I have prepared here the practice test. Now, you must identify kung anong klase siya. We have the wellness. Either wellness ba siya under the health deficit, health threat, or foreseeable crisis. So for the first question, moving in a new municipality ko. Ano ba siya? Health threat ba siya? Health deficit, foreseeable crisis, or wellness? So of course, anticipated yan na stress point kasi nga when you are moving into a new municipality, magiging anticipated na stress mo yan. So that is basically foreseeable crisis or stress point. The next one is family quarrel. Nag-aaway yung family or nagkakaroon ng disunity sa family. So that is under your health threat. The third one, which is having low fat, low salt intake or low fat, low salt diet. So obviously, guys, no, under yan sa wellness factor. The next one, hemiplegia. Hemiplegia is where na-paralyze yung other half of the body. So meron siyang basically existing disease. So sabi natin kanina, when we talk about disability or illness states, so magpo-fall yan sa health deficit. And last question, under 5 years old na malnourished children sa isang household. So under 5 years old na malnourished children falls under the health deficit. Kasi nga meron ng existence of the malnourishment. Okay? So we go to the second level of assessment. So doon sa first level of assessment, na-identify natin yung potential or readiness of the family. Now, dito naman sa second level of assessment, in-identify natin yung nature or type of nursing problems the family experiences in the performance of their health tasks with respect to a certain health condition or problem. So kung sa first level of assessment, inaalam natin or ina-identify natin kung anong existing or potential na mga health problems na nakaka-apekto doon sa optimum level of functioning. Dito naman sa second level of assessment, we assess the hindering factors or ano yung mga obstacles or anong nag-i-impede sa family na yon when doing their health tasks patungkol or in relation to that specific health condition na na-identify ninyo during the first level of assessment. Now, when we talk about second level of assessment, there are several factors that we can ask or we can assess to your family. Like number one, the inability to recognize the presence of the condition or problem. Pag sinabi natin inability to recognize the presence of the condition or problem, hindi nila alam kung nasaan yung problema. They are parang wala silang capability to recognize or wala silang knowledge doon sa presence of that problem, which affects the optimum level of functioning or the overall well-being of that family. The next factor is inability to make decisions for taking appropriate health action. So dito naman, um, alam nila, na-identify nila ang condition or specific problem, pero hindi sila makapag-decide kung ano ang appropriate na health intervention nila sa specific problem na yon. So next one is the inability to provide adequate nursing care to the sick, disabled, dependent, or vulnerable at risk member of the family. So hindi sila nakakapagbigay ng appropriate nursing care to those vulnerable and disadvantaged individuals doon sa household na yon, like factors na when we talk about expenses, may medical expenses, siguro isa yun sa mga dahilan bakit hindi sila nakakapag-provide ng adequate nursing care to this specific group. And then next is the inability to provide a home environment conducive to health maintenance and personal development. So ibig sabihin yan, the housing structure is not good, or maybe the environment, the surroundings are unsanitary, kaya it makes it not conducive for a family to live on, at pwedeng makakontribute yon sa mga kalusugan ng household members. And the last one is the failure to utilize community resources in relation for healthcare. So ibig sabihin yan, merong mga community resources yan. For example, mayroon silang barangay stations or rural health unit, pero hindi sila interesadong magpa-check up or hindi sila pumupunta doon. They are not visiting the clinic or the BHS or the RHUs. Or maybe pwedeng ang family ay nakatira sa GIDA, sa geographically isolated and disadvantaged areas, wherein malayo ang location from their home to the nearest barangay station or hospital or the rural health unit. Kaya hindi nila nagagamit ang mga external resources na to. So how do we prioritize the nursing problems? So when you go to your household, when you're conducting interview or your assessment or your family nursing care process, you will soon realize na maraming mga problems na existing or potential doon sa mga households na pupuntahan ninyo or mga families na pupuntahan ninyo. And sabi natin dun sa mga naunang mga topic natin na you will always exercise the SMART, the specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So when you identify 10 problems, for instance, doon sa isang family lang ngayon, you cannot address those 10 problems na sabay-sabay. So ginagawa dito sa family nursing care process is you prioritize. You prioritize in accordance to the urgency of the nursing problem. So, ayan, paano ba tayo nagpa-prioritize? Ito yung i-discuss natin sa specific topic na to. So, for your prioritization of nursing problems, this is the process of ranking. So, you are doing the process of ranking the identified health or family nursing problems using the scale for ranking health conditions and problems according to priority. So, you set priority and then doon ka mag-implement ng planning and intervention. So that definition is according to Bailon and Maglay. So ano bang mga FNCP prioritization criteria natin? Ano bang mga sineset natin mga criteria when you prioritize the family problems? So number one is yung nature of the condition or problem presented. Ito yung di-discuss natin kanina, the nature of the problem. And then number two is the modifiability of the condition or problem. Number three is the preventive potential. And the last one is salience. So the first criteria is the nature of the condition or the problem presented. So dito, na-discuss natin kanina yung during the first level of assessment, yung wellness status, health deficit, health threat, stress point, or foreseeable crisis. Now we have specific scores dito sa criteria na to. So, for wellness status, kapag kabilang siya sa wellness status, of course, 3 ang score natin. Kapag merong presence of health deficit, merong score na 3 din yan. So kapag na-observe nyo naman na may presence ng health threat, may score yan na 2. At kung may presence ng stress point or foreseeable crisis, may score yan na 1. So for a total weight of 1. So yan. So discuss natin yung mga underlying cause or anong mga factors na uh, nagko-contribute para sila ay makabilang sa wellness status, health deficit, health threat, or stress point or foreseeable crisis kanina. So yan yung mga scoring natin sa specific criteria na to under the nature of the condition or problem presented. Now we go to the next criteria, which is the modifiability of the problem. Pag sinabi natin modifiability, from the word modify, this is the ability of the family to reduce, bawasan, or to control or completely eradicate that certain problem. And these are the possibilities of resolving the problem through nursing interventions within available resources. So meron tayong dalawang klase ng resources. We have the internal and external resources that the family can utilize in solving the existing family problem or the potential family problem. So when we talk about the modifiability of the problem, again, it is the ability of the family to reduce, control, or eradicate the existing problem or the potential problem. Now, dito sa modifiability of the problem, we can ask the current knowledge or we can assess the current knowledge kung ano yung kaalaman nila at teknolohiya and the current intervention, the practices that the family utilizes in managing that specific problem. And we also assess here the resources of the family. Sabi natin kanina, we have we have 2 types of resources, the internal and external. So itong resources na to talks about the internal resources of the family, the physical, financial, and the manpower. So yan, tinatanong natin yan under the modifiability of the problem. The next one are the resources of the community. Ito naman yung mga external resources. Kung itong physical, financial, and manpower ay mga internal resources of the family, itong facilities and community organizations naman ang external resources of the family. Like kung ano bang mga available na mga facilities doon sa community na tinitirhan nila. And also, yung resources of the community health nurse. Of course, you as a public health nurse, gaano ba kalawak ang kalaman mo at yung skills mo at yung time mo doon sa pagbibigay ng intervention doon sa family na yon. So yun, pwede nating i-consider yan at lahat na kino-consider under the modifiability of the problem. So yan, tinatanong muna natin yan doon sa family when you are conducting your interview. And with regards to the rating, we have the highest score here is 2, which is which falls under the easily modifiable. Kapag madali lang siyang i-modify or pwede madali lang siyang baguhin, that will score 2. And kapag partially modifiable, medyo mahirap siyang, pwede siyang mabago pero may kahirapang baguhin. So that will fall under 1. And completely, kapag hindi siya nababago or wala tayong magagawa talaga, kahit anong effort natin ay hindi talaga kayang mabago, the score is 0. So ang weight ng modifiability of the problem is 2. Now we go to the next one. The next criteria here is the preventive potential. From the word prevent, so whether the health problems can be prevented, eradicated, or controlled. So ano bang mga tinatanong natin dito sa preventive potential? So the severity of the problem, kung gaano ba kabigat ang existing or identified problem na yon, kung gaano siya kabigat. Duration of the problem, kung gaano siya katagal ng problem na yun ay siguro mga months or years or matagal-tagal na talagang problema nila yun. And then the current management, anong current practices nila, paano sila nag-cope up with that certain problem. And then the exposure of any vulnerable or high-risk group. Itong vulnerable or high-risk group talks about the elderly, the senior citizens, yung mga children under 5, yung mga buntis, yung mga PWD. So those individuals or those group ay kabilang dito sa vulnerable or high-risk group. So how do we score the preventive potential? Kapag high risk yan, nag-score yan ng 3. Kapag moderately preventive, 2. Kapag low ang kanyang preventive potential is 1. For a total of weight na 1. The variance of the health problems is the last criteria, which talks about the family's perception of the problem in terms of its seriousness and urgency of attention that is needed or the family readiness. So ito yung parang paano sila nag-pop up or ano yung tingin nila doon sa existing problem na yun sa family nila. So how do we score the saliency? So yung condition or problem that needing immediate attention scores 2. A condition or problem not needing immediate attention 1. And not perceived as a problem or condition needing change is 0. For example, yung cough and colds, 3 days na siyang may cough and cold at ang perception ng family member doon or yung parent doon is cough and cold lang naman, hindi kailangan magpa-check up or pumunta ng barangay station or the nearest rural health unit. So yun, ang perception nila is not a problem or condition needing change. So hindi nila alam na ang cough and cold ay pwedeng mag-progress yan into more serious illness. So yun ibig sabihin ng saliency or the perception of the family towards specific problem. Now, I have prepared here another practice activity. So you identify kung anong category siya. The COVID-19 member of a family. So that is a health deficit kasi may existing COVID-19 ang specific household member na yan. And then, how about the next one? COVID-19 ability to be contracted by another family member. Ibig sabihin, pwede siyang may contract or pwedeng makahawa. So that is, of course, your health threat. And then the next one, a household member will possibly be hospitalized because of COVID-19. Yeah. When we talk about hospitalization, of course, nagkakos yan ng stress. And therefore, that is stress point or foreseeable crisis. So depende yan sa statement. No? Hindi tayo pwedeng sabi lang ng kung ano dyan. Depende yan sa binigay na statement or the story. So, depende yan sa question na ginagawa or situation. So, the next one is, all family members are vaccinated. So, is that health deficit, health threat, stress point, or wellness? So, kabilang yan under wellness. Kasi nga, vaccination is a prophylaxis or the way on how to prevent the occurrence of certain diseases. So, yeah, I hope you understand this, guys, because maraming nag-appear dyan at maraming nakalagay dyan na sa inyong mga midterm exam. So, how do we score the criteria? So, number 1, the first step is to determine the score of each of the criteria. Score per criterion of each problem. And then when we identify the score of each of the criteria, the 4 criteria, we divide and multiply. So, paano ba siya dinidivide and multiply? Divide the score by the highest possible score. For example, sa magbibigay ako ng example sa susunod na slide. So you must divide the row score by the highest possible score in that specific category and then multiply it by the weight of the criterion. Kaya mahalaga yung weight na matandaan ninyo kasi yun yung multiplier natin dito after dividing the row score against the highest possible score. Now sum it up. You compute for all the sum of all the scores and then you rank the overall score of each of the nursing problems. And the principle natin dito is the problem with the highest score is the first priority of the public health nurse. Again, the problem with the highest score during your computation here sa mga criteria is the first priority. On the other hand, yung problem naman na may lowest score is the lowest priority. So this is how we set the scoring for each of the criteria or for all of the criteria. Now, I have here sample computation. For example, yan, meron tayong ginagamit na table. So as you can see, we have set here the criteria, yung apat, the nature of the problem, the modifiability of the problem, preventive potential, and the salience of the problem. And we have here the computation. Of course, yung 3 dito, yung 2 dito, yung 3, at saka 2, yan yung highest possible score of that specific criteria. So for this criteria, the nature of the problem, ang highest score dyan is 3. At ang weight na binigay natin kanina is 1. So therefore, ang multiplier natin, multiply natin dyan is 1. And same is true with the modifiability of the problem. Ang highest score dyan is 2. And the weight is 2. Therefore, we divide by 2 times 2. Then preventive potential, ang highest score dyan is 3. And then the weight is 1. The salience of the problem, the highest possible score is 2. And we multiply it by the weight, which is 1. So for instance, ang nature of the problem, ang score ko dyan is 3. Ayan. So 3 divided by 3 times 1. So that's basically ang lalagay nyo dito sa actual score. Ayan. So nag-grade muna ako. Nature of the problem, 3. For example lang naman. Modifiability of the problem, 1. Preventive potential, 2. Salience of the problem, 2. So it depends kung ano yung condition or current condition ng family na ina-assess ninyo dito. So 3 divided by 3 times 1, yun yung lalagay ko dito. The actual score is 1. Punta tayo sa number 2, which is your modifiability of the problem. 1 divided by 2 times 2 is 1. The preventive potential, 2 divided by 3 times 1 will give you 0.67. And lastly, the salience of the problem, 2 divided by 2 times 1 is 1. So those are the actual scores na i-compute natin. And you will sum it up, sabi ng procedure natin. So you'll sum it up. So 1 plus 1 plus 0.67 plus 1 is, or will give you 3.67 in total. And ito sa justification portion, you will just give a brief description kung bakit 3 ang in-score ninyo dito sa specific criteria na to. Bakit sa nature of the problem, 3 ang in-score nyo doon sa family na yun. So yun yung lalagay natin. Just a brief description on bakit ganun yung actual score ng family na yun. So you will put it here under the justification. So lahat, from 1 to 4, from the nature of the problem to the salience of the problem, you must know kung paano mga ilalagay natin mga justification or explanation bakit ganun yung actual scores na nilagay nyo. Okay, so 3.67 for this case, the total score of that household. Now, ito yung actual na ginagamit natin na form. So, ayan, dyan yan yung health standards natin, the standards, the nature of the problem, the health deficit, health threat, foreseeable crisis. So, hindi nakasali dyan yung wellness, pero wellness, nag-score yan ng 3. Okay, health deficit, 3, health threat, 2, foreseeable crisis, 1. For example, meron kong nakitang, merong yung household na napuntahan mo, mag-enroll yung anak nila sa college. Now, that falls under the foreseeable crisis. So, pag ganun yung nakita mong problem doon sa family na yon, of course, 1 ang i-score mo in actual score. And then, i-divide mo yon sa possible high score, which is 3. That's how you come up with the scoring method. So, yan. Yan na yung pinaka-summary ng ating discussion. So, for the modifiability of the problem, again, removable or easily modifiable, partial modifiable, and not modifiable. So yan yung scoring natin. And then preventive potential, again, if that is highly preventable, moderate or low, that corresponds to 3, 2, 1 respectively. At merong weight na 1. And the salience of the problem, how the family members perceive that specific problem. Kapag needs immediate attention, 2, does not need immediate attention, 1, and kapag hindi na na-perceive as a problem, 0. So the weight is 1. So yan, that's how we score our problems during our prioritization phase. So remember, guys, na lagay natin specific justification for each of the criteria. Now, another example, guys, yung mas kumpleto yung may justification. For instance, ang actual score niya is 1. So, pag 1 yan, foreseeable crisis, uh, ang score niya dito is 3 pala, divided by yung highest possible um, score dito sa criteria, which is the nature of the problem is 3. So, 3 divided by 3 is 1 times 1, the weight is 1. Kaya 1 yung actual score niya. And then, naglagay siya ng justification dito. Like, it is a health deficit, kasi health deficit na yung 3, and it requires more interventions. But I want you to um, give specific, ano dito, description, hindi lang ganyan. It's a health deficit because, blah, 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 blah. Because there's a presence of disability. And what specific disability yon or anong specific illness yon, yun yung dapat ilagay dito sa justification. Always be smart. Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. And it requires more intervention. So, ganun yung ginawa din niya dito sa number 2, which is the modifiability of the problem. Bakit 2 yung in-score niya? So, yan, nilagay niya sa justification. The family and the community has the necessary resources to treat coughs and colds. So, yan, 2. Pwede siyang high yung possibility or high yung modifiability nito. So, 2 yung actual score niya and nag-place siya dito sa justification. Bakit 2 ang kanyang score dyan? And then sa preventive potential, so 2 ang kanyang score dyan because of this justification. There's a possibility of transferring infection to other members of the family. So yun, the family's height should therefore be given immediate attention. Mother knows ways of treating coughs and colds and has used herbal medicine. So may possibility daw ma-transfer ang infection. Kaya, so meron ng existing infection doon sa family member niya. So therefore, 2 ang kanyang actual score dito. And then lastly, the salience of the problem. 2 ang score niya or actual score niya. So ang justification niya here is, although there is a possibility of transferring infection to other family members, the infection is not life-threatening. So it does not need it needs immediate attention. So 2. So that's how you score your problem. So kapag na-compute nyo na, kunwari 10 yung nakita ninyong problem na yan and na-compute nyo lahat, you rank it. Lagay nyo dyan, you follow this format. You set the priority. Lagay nyo yung priority na dyan, yung problem, yung specific problem na yan. For example, cough and colds, scabies, and malnutrition. And then yung actual score nyo dito, yung overall score is malnutrition 3. Of course, kung sino ang pinakamababang score, siya ang less priority. At kung sino ang may pinakamataas na score, siya ang may highest priority na binibigyan natin ng intervention. So in this case, yung cough and colds has the highest score, therefore siya ang highest priority. And malnutrition is the lowest priority because it has the lowest score. So that's how you rank, and that's how the family nursing care process works. Thank you.